Genesis chapter 13. And Abram went up out of Egypt into the Negev, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot being with him. And Abram was very rich in livestock, in silver, and in gold, and he went on his journeys from the south, even to Bethel, Beit El, to the place where his tent had been there at the beginning, between Bethel and Ai, to the place of the altar which he had made there at the first. And Abram called on the name of Jehovah there. And Lot, who went with Abram, had also flocks and herds and tents, and the land was not able to bear them for dwelling together, for their wealth was great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was strife between the herdsmen of Abram's livestock and the herdsmen of Lot's livestock. And the Canaanite, Haknani, and the Perizzite, Haprizi, lived then in the land. And Abram said to Lot, Please let there be no strife between me and you, and between my herdsmen and your herdsmen, for we are men, brothers. Is not all the land before you? Please separate from me. If you go to the left, then I will go to the right, or if you go to the right, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes, and saw all the circuit of Jordan, Yarden, that it was well watered, before Jehovah destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even like the garden of Jehovah, like the land of Egypt as you come to Zoar. Then Lot chose all the circuit of Jordan for himself, and Lot journeyed east, and they were separated, each one from his brother. And Abram lived in the land of Canaan, and Lot lived in the cities of the circuit, and pitched his tent as far as Sodom. And the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before Jehovah, exceedingly so. And after Lot had separated from him, Jehovah said to Abram, Now lift up your eyes, and look northward, and southward, and eastward, and westward from the place where you are. For all the land which you see I will give to you, and to your seed forever. And I will make your seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can count the dust of the earth, then your seed also will be counted. Rise up, walk through the land, in its length and in its breadth, for I will give it to you. Then Abram moved his tent, and came and lived among the oaks of Mamre, which were in Hebron, and he built an altar to Jehovah there. Matthew chapter 13. And going out from the house in that day, Jesus sat down by the sea, and great crowds were gathered to him, so that boarding the boat he sat down, and all the crowd stood on the shore. And he spoke to them many things in parables, saying, Behold, the sower went out to sow, and in his sowing some fell by the roadside, and the birds came and ate them, and others fell on the stony places where they did not have much earth, and it immediately sprang up, because it had no deepness of earth. And the sun rising, it was scorched, and because of having no root, it was dried up. And other falls on thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked them. And other fell on the good ground, and yielded fruit, indeed 100-fold, and 160, and 130. The one having ears to hear, let him hear. And coming near, the disciples said to him, Why do you speak to them in parables? And answering, he said to them, Because it has been given to you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but it has not been given to those. For whoever has, to him will be given, and he will have overabundance. But whoever does not have, even what he has will be taken from him. Because of this, I speak to them in parables, because seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand. And the prophecy of Isaiah is fulfilled on them, which says, In hearing you will hear, and in no way understand, and seeing you will see, yet in no way perceive. For the heart of this people has grown fat, and they heard sluggishly with the ears, and they have closed their eyes, that they not see with the eyes, nor hear with the ears, and understand with the heart, and be converted, and I heal them. But your eyes are blessed, because they see, and your ears, because they hear. For truly I tell you, that many prophets and righteous ones desired to see what you see, and did not see, and to hear what you hear, and did not hear. Then hear the parable of the sower. Everyone hearing the word of the kingdom, and not understanding, then the evil one comes and catches away that which was sown in his heart. This is that sown by the roadside. And that sown on the stony places is this: the one hearing the word and immediately receiving it with joy, but has no root in himself, but is temporary. And tribulation or persecution occurring because of the word, he is at once offended. And that sown into the thorns is this: the one hearing the word, and the anxiety of this age, and the deceit of riches, choke the word, and it becomes unfruitful. But that sown on the good ground is this: the one hearing the word, and understanding it, who indeed brings forth and produces fruit, one truly 100-fold, and one 60, and one 30. He put before them another parable, saying, The kingdom of heaven is compared to a man sowing good seed in his fields. But while the men were sleeping, his enemy came and sowed tares in the midst of the wheat, and went away. And when the blade sprouted and produced fruit, then the tares also appeared. And coming near, the slaves of the housemaster said to him, Sir, did you not sow good seed in your field? Then from where does it have these tares? And he said to them, A man, an enemy, did this. And the slaves said to him, Do you desire then that going out we should gather them? But he said, No, lest gathering the tares you should uproot the wheat with them. Allow both to grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest I will say to the reapers, First gather the tares, and bind them into bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my granary. He put another parable before them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is compared to a grain of mustard, which taking, a man sowed in his field, which indeed is less than all the seeds. But when it is grown, it is greater than the plants, and becomes a tree, so that all the birds of the heaven come and roost in its branches. He spoke another parable to them. The kingdom of heaven is compared to leaven, which taking a woman hid in 3 measures of meal, until the whole was leavened. Jesus spoke all these things in parables to the crowds, and he did not speak to them without a parable. So that was fulfilled that spoken through the prophet, saying, I will open my mouth in parables. I will say things hidden from the foundation of the world. Then, sending away the crowds, Jesus came into the house, and his disciples came to him, saying, Explain to us the parable of the tares of the field. And answering he said to them, The one sowing the good seed is the Son of Man, and the field is the world, and the good seed, these are the sons of the kingdom. But the tares are the sons of the evil one, and the enemy who sowed them is the devil. And the harvest is the end of the age, and the angels are the reapers. Then as the tares are gathered and are consumed in the fire, so it will be in the end of this age. The Son of Man will send forth his angels, and they will gather out of his kingdom all the offenses and those who practice lawlessness, and they will throw them into the furnace of fire. There will be weeping and gnashing of the teeth. Then the righteous will shine out like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. The one having ears to hear, let him hear. Again, the kingdom of heaven is compared to treasure hidden in the field, which finding a man hid, and for the joy of it he goes and sells all things, as many as he has, and buys that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is compared to a man, a merchant seeking excellent pearls, who finding one very precious pearl, going away, has sold all things, as many as he had, and bought it. Again, the kingdom of heaven is compared to a dragnet thrown into the sea, and gathering together of every kind, which when it was filled, drawing it up on the shore, and sitting down, they gathered the good into containers, and they threw out the rotten. So it will be in the end of the age. The angels will go out and will separate the wicked from the midst of the righteous, and will throw them into the furnace of fire. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Jesus said to them, Have you understood all these things? They said to him, Yes, Lord. And he said to them, Because of this, every scribe schooled to the kingdom of heaven is like a man, a master of a house, who puts forth out of his treasure new and old. And it happened, when Jesus had finished these parables, he moved from there, and coming into his own country, he taught them in their synagogue, so that they were astonished, and said, Where did this one get this wisdom, and the powerful works? Is this not the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary, and his brothers James and Joses, and Simon and Judah? Are not his sisters all with us? From where then did this one get all these things? And they were offended in him. But Jesus said to them, A prophet is not without honor, except in his own homeland and in his own house. and he did not do many works of power there, because of their unbelief.